Hey campers, Georgia, back in the man cave. Thinking about a project here. See these two guys? Yeah, fishermen, right? Well, not really. This guy is. Why? He's got these, right? This is just a Texas toothpick. They both beat up. Let's check it out. So like I said, the toothpick and the fisherman. And I thought, what an easy mod to change a toothpick into a fisherman, right? Thought that would be a nice, easy project. Allegedly. And of course, this guy, pretty beat up, missing half the handle, and it has this black on the top. And interestingly enough, if you look there, it says Commander. That's it. Nothing else. We're going to look at that, figure out what that's all about. And then we got this guy, which is a fisherman, your typical fisherman. It's the basic single blade style, and it's a toothpick with your scalers on it. There you can see them there. And on it, it actually tells you it's a fish knife. Well, here's the plan. This guy's damaged anyway. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity to do something different than just restoring. So I thought, I'm going to rehandle this guy and put it in with my collection of other ones I've rehandled, fishermen and toothpicks, and add that to that collection. And this guy, basically rehandle and put scalers on here. Right? Just zip into it and make scalers. Now the big difference here, if you look carefully, this one has bolsters. This one doesn't. And this guy, well, who made it? Good question. The United States Army again. Or is it USA? Well, USA, I got to tell you, make a lot of knives. Allegedly, because you see a lot of this, and then you got to figure out, well, who made it? I got some ideas there. So let's have a quick look at these two, and let's fix them up. The other day in a mail, well, a while ago in a mail call, I got sent G10, right? And you've seen me do a rehandle before, and I really like the idea of doubling it up. I like white up against the actual handle and then color it. Here's something interesting. I was like, what am I going to do with this? It's actually see-through. And I thought, well, you know, it's kind of boring. Okay, not really appropriate for a fishing knife. Plus, when goop gets behind it, well, nobody wants to see that. So, put the white behind, and now you've got this unusual, have no idea, somebody tell me what this color is, and we'll make a handle out of it and put it on the fisherman, right? So that's what we're going to do with this guy. Obviously, the blade, very good condition. It's not even sharp though, so we'll have to sharpen it and clean it up. Now, the great thing is, we've got to take this handle off so we can do a really good cleanup on the whole thing after we take this handle off. And then we'll put the good stuff on, shape it all up, and we'll have another one to go with the collection. And then we have this guy. And this is that Commander. And as you can see, it originally had this black scale on it. This is even cracked here, and it lost the other side. Cool thing is, it's a real toothpick because it has bolsters on it, and that's the main difference. Okay, otherwise, wow, they're basically the same thing, except this one needs that jimping so we can make it into a single blade fisherman, and we'll rehandle it. Now I like the idea of black. So here we go. We've got black to go onto this one. So that's what we're going to do. But before we get into there, I want to look into this whole commander thing. Let's see what that's all about. So, this guy, the commander, not so easy to find. Interesting though, it referred you to Wenger, Cattaraugus, a number of different companies, because all it says is commander, and you know, searching tank stamp commander gave you all sorts of weird stuff, and a lot of different results. But the most positive I found says the commander was a trademark brand, made for the Metropolitan Cutlery Company. I couldn't even find an image of it. So if anybody out there knows more about this toothpick, single blade, dog leg knife with this tank stamp on it, you're ahead of me, and I'd like to know. So it was an interesting search. It took me all over the place. But here it is here. And now I'm wondering if I want to modify the blade. I think this might be a little bit lesser known than other knives. So I'm really nervous about making it into a fish knife. Ha! So what I'm going to do here is just rehandle it. And like I said, I'll go with the black. And so not going to do that, but maybe some other time we'll find a toothpick that we can mod into a fish knife. Hopefully. I would really like to do stuff like that. You know, I've modded opinals forever, and changing like an old knife like this could be really fun, but you don't want to be changing something that's very unique. So there's that. Anywho, we got this guy we need to rehandle and clean up, along with this guy. Now this guy just says USA on it, and I gotta say, I have one like this, and I'm going to look at it quickly and let's see what the tank stamp says on it. I knew I had one. Here you can see it here, and here's the one that I had, and it says, yeah, USA on it. Sometimes chickens, sometimes feathers. So I think, well, now that I know I have another one, I think I want to rehandle it with my mod of collection I have going. So we're going to do that. So let's have at it. Okay, so here we have the two ne'er-do-wells. This one, the Commander, and this one, USA. And these are the handles going on each one. First thing we've got to do is we've got to glue these together. Once we have that, then we're going to mark them out using a template. I'll take the handles off and use them as a template. I put them on there, mark them out, cut these down, and trim them down as far as I want to. I want to leave a little bit extra because you don't want to make them too small, because you can't make them bigger. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So the first thing I want to do is just clean the surfaces that we're going to glue together. You don't want any stuff on there to affect the glue. And I'm using Loctite super glue, the liquid professional. Found this to be the best. Dries quickly and it's solid. So we'll do that, but I'm just going to use some alcohol can't say the name. Never get it right. Isopropyl. And I'm just going to clean off any residue or anything from when they make this stuff. And just the alcohol is a good way to clean them. It dries quickly. So we're going to do that really quickly, just like that. And now we're going to put glue on. Glue them together, and then while that's drying, we'll have a look at these guys and get the handles off. And this is going to be messy. Whoops. We'll let those dry. We're going to take this handle off and one of those. So this one is cracked here, so probably when I take it off it's going to come apart. I'll glue it together and then we'll use that as the template, he says with all the confidence in the world. You see what I mean? Oh, there we go. Look at that. Nice. Put a spot of glue on there. I wonder if I should just punch these through. I think I'm going to do that. Oh, look at that. Woot. So after realizing doing that it's going to come apart, no big deal. Easier to clean, and we have the other one. This one I don't think we need to take apart. So I'm just going to undo these. Looks pretty good. Put these on. And I want to give myself room for movement. Don't be exact. Give yourself a little bit extra room to work with in case your pinholes or anything are a little bit off. So, going to use a marquee that's a little bit thicker, and then you cut on the edge. And I'm just going to give myself extra there. Time to trim these out, cut them down to size as close as possible so I don't spend a lot of time getting rid of the excess. Okay, now we've got these trimmed down and cut and whatnot. I'm going to start with this guy, so we'll put this all over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up all these. Quick shine. And then I'm going to glue these onto here, and then we can drill the holes using these as the guides for the pins. So that's what we're going to do now. So elbow grease time to clean them up. So the great thing about this is that you can clean everywhere on your pieces. That's the good thing about having to take them apart. Of course, then you've got to pin it back together, and with me, The whole pinning thing's iffy. But, you know, you pay your money, you take your chances. So we're going to do this first. The first thing I'm going to do is I've got some 400 here, and I'm going to go very lightly over it just to get rid of the heavy stuff, and we'll work on through what we've got here, which is 800, 2500, and then we'll 7,000 it. So here we go. And you can see I'm going up and down. When I finish them off, I always finish off this way on whatever grit I'm doing. Because this is so heavy, you don't want to press hard, because all you're doing is just introducing more stretch, more scratches. And here we have 400. Now 800. Same thing again. Rinse, repeat. And here we have 400. Starting to shine now. Now we're going to go, oh sorry, that was 800, wasn't it? Just checking to see if you were paying attention. 2500. And here we are at 25. Starting to get more of a mirror look to it. Very nice. 7,000. Now you get the 7,000, which gives it a much more mirror shape. You can see the reflections. We'll do mothers once we're done, before we sharpen, and that really smooths it out. So now I'm going to work through these guys. Now these guys I need to concentrate on the edges, which you see more than anything else. And then of course you've got to clean this, because when you look in the well you can see it. Now I do both sides. Do you need to? Not so much, but I'm going to be gluing, so I want to make sure it's clean. On the springs, same thing. These are the important parts, the outside on the spine, and of course getting this nice and clean for the well. So here we are here, nice and shiny, and obviously we'll be polishing them. Once everything's together, I'll go through with 7,000 again, and then polish, because we're going to be dealing with handles and things like that. Okay, got a little problem here, and that is I cut that too short, but I can fill that in. I'm not worried about that, and it's white. It's pretty straightforward, and we'll touch up afterwards. I'm going to glue these onto here, let them set, then we're going to drill the pinholes, and then we can start putting it together, and we'll clean up all the edges. We'll let those sit for 4 days. Kidding. We'll let it sit dry, then we'll drill these holes, and then we can pin it. Then we get rid of all the extras on the edge here and start shaping everything. So while we make sure the glue sets properly and everything, I'm going to clean this guy up, because we need to put those onto here. Now, got to make sure this is a clean surface. Because it has bolsters, the nice thing is that when this is in, you just need one pin. It's not going to move because the bolsters and the pin will hold it. You can get rid of these pins or keep them, whatever you want to do. We can mark them, see where the pins are, drill the holes and put it on that way, which might be a good idea, and then clean it up and trim everything down. But we've got to clean this up first. You can see a huge difference between cleaning this together and in parts. But I'm not in a big hurry to take it apart, because the bolster pins, that sounds like too much hard work. But we can make it work without doing that. So here we go. On with the show. Start cleaning it up. Same thing again. We're using all that sandpaper again. I'm going to go through and do it. I'll show you how I do the well and things like that, but typically it's the same process. It's just on one piece altogether. And here we are at 400. A lot more work because you've got fiddly places to get into. Now I'm going to work my way through down to 2,500, 7,000. And then we got to think about the handles. And here we are at 7,000. Shined up. I don't know what it is, but I can actually... You can feel the difference in the steel compared to the other one. This has an old, I don't know how to explain it, an older feel to it. but very nice. I like this knife. It's well made, very well made. Let's work on them handles. So now, like I said, what I want to do is mark these pins because I want to put them in there. So what I have to do is I'm going to put this on here and get this piece lined up. So cut this down until we lined up and then mark the holes, because that is the piece that goes on there, and we will trim this side down to match. So now what I'm going to do is drill these holes, and then we'll start trimming this side down to match. Hopefully this is going to work, and when I drill these holes I will do these ones as well. Sorry, my bad. I forgot to press record. Basically, I put them on and glued them on, and we're just letting them dry right now. So while that happens, we're going to get these ones ready to go onto this and see how we're doing. And once we got these dry, we'll come back and we'll start shaping the handles. And by the way, I made a boo-boo that we're going to have to fix. When I made the measurements, I had them upside down, the handles. So the angles are wrong. But we can fill it, shouldn't be a problem. See, here you can see I put pins in. I just want to see how we're doing here. That seems okay. Now I need to pin it. So what I got to do is trim these down. I need to make the holes here where they come through beveled. So I got to do that because I did not do that. So I'll do that now, and then we can start pinning the joy. I don't have a beveling tool, but I have a slightly bigger drill bit, and I can just do it by hand. This stuff's pretty soft, and you can see it beveled it, so that'll work for now. Ideally, maybe put it on the Dremel on my press and do it that way, but this will work for now. So I've pre-beveled them. Now I'm going to take my pins, flatten them, and pre-pin one side so that it spreads. Push that in, clip it off, and do the other side. Now, just using my pinning hammer, I'm going to lightly tap on it, just using the weight of the hammer. Got a half stop. Ha! Didn't even realize that. Okay, things are looking up. Alright, so now I'm going to start peening these down so we can get it closed and then clean this up. Well, I have this thing, and I use it for when I'm peening. I put it in, and then when I peen, I won't over peen. It won't get too tight. It'll be loose, and then I can finish it up afterwards. That's the plan. So we've got them in here. Now I like to start with the middle one. If I over tighten it, it's not a big deal. That is just holding the spring and the liners together. If this is tight, you're probably better off, but you don't want to do that on these. So you have to use that gap to start off with. Take it out, the gap out, and then tap it in until you get how tight you want it, certainly where the blade is. First thing you want to do is clean up that edge and start with a flat edge. It'll peen more evenly that way. Problem I have here is my bench bounces. I'm going to take it over to the vise. All right, one down. Lots to go. So now I'm going to put this in on this side so that I maintain a gap no matter how tight I make this. Let me trim everything down and off to the races. So now we got it pinned down with the spacer in it. Now I can go a little bit more on this one, so I'll do that. Then I'm going to pull the spacer out. So now I've pulled the spacer out. Now when I open the blade, it's going to be loose. See that? Which gives me room to tighten it up. I can do that slowly, but I want to do this side next. Now this is basically the same as that one. It's not holding anything. You want it as tight as you can get it. So here we are here. We got that one in. This one's still a little loose, which is what we want. And it still seems to work. Got that half stop. Nice snap on it. And we can tighten up the gaps if there's any later. Now we need to clean this all down to match. Looks great, doesn't it? Too short here. Another repair. Lordy. So now we got to reduce this, and I have two files. I like a half round. I find that when I use the half round, it takes off a lot of material. So it's a good way to start. Just be gentle with it. When you start getting close to the material, you don't want to use file because you don't want to scratch the back of your springs and the liner. So be careful about getting too close. You can finish that off with some heavy sandpaper and go lighter. So here we are, about as far as I want to go with the file. And you can see the shape coming together. Now it's all hand. And we're going to start rounding off the edges here, all that good stuff, and getting it right down to match the liners. Woot! I just use a little bit of backing on the on some 80 grit here. It's pretty heavy grit, and I'm just going to work back and forth until I get as close as I can. So now I've got to tighten these pins down so that we still have a nice smooth walk and talk on the knife. And you can see I've started to smooth it off, clean it up, round off the edges, and unfortunately we're going to have to fill that in. But we can do that. I kind of like the way this turned out. Better than I thought it would. So I really like that half stop as well. Very nice. So a couple of taps here, a couple of taps there until it's tight and we can still move. It's got to be patient. Keep at it. So still got good snap and nice and tight now. Maybe a couple of, no, I don't want to over tighten it. Very nice. Got to finish this up, smooth everything off, go with a lighter grit, and it'll be ready. Let's see what's happening with this guy now. This one's also going to need work. Man, I was not paying attention. So what happened here was I cut it at the wrong angle. You see there? And it's pretty obvious here. So, I don't know what that is. We're going to have to trim everything down like we did on the other one, get it all cleaned up, and then fill it. Now, the black makes it easier to fill because, you know, black, it's very easy to hide. So, same thing on that. So here we are, yeah, we've trimmed it down. Need to round off the edges and start cleaning the whole thing up. Got to get these to match with sandpaper and just work on it until it's all lined up. So last night I filled in all the gaps with super glue and let them sit overnight. Shape it a little bit more so that the transition is smoother. Rounded the edges off. Now I'm just going to take it down to 2000 again on here because I used the 400. And then we should be ready to sharpen. Then there's this guy. And I really like the way this color came out. Also ready to sharpen. But we're going to do mothers on the blades on both of them before we sharpen. We got mothers, mag and aluminum. Let's put a dab on and give them a rub. can see how mothers can shine something. And it smooths it out. You don't have any obvious hot spots. Just going to do the backs here, and then we'll do that one. Well, we'll do this one quickly, and then we'll sharpen them. Got to fix that. I forgot about that. I'll do that and then we'll sharpen. Can I sit? I've got things to do. We're not all bosses and have time to nap. I have to share the chair. It's nap time apparently. See, here are the knives here. You can see them. I like this style, single blade knife. They're fun projects. You can do a lot with them. Like I said on this guy, which is the Commander, the handle, half the handle was missing. So I replaced it. I stayed with black. I thought, you know, kind of original. It doesn't have obviously the jimping and whatever on it. But it's a nice knife. I like this knife. And it feels different. When I say feels different, I mean the steel. When I compare it to this guy, the steel just, I don't know, has a different feel. And I think it's because it's an older knife. But it turned out okay. I like it. Works for me. Nice big sweeping clip. So it's basically Texas toothpick, right? With that long nail pull. I got to oil it a little bit more, but we got snap still on it, so always a good thing. And then we have this guy, which I got to tell you, I'm surprised how well it turned out, how it looks. See that? Look at that. And I kind of like this color. Although it's see-through, I didn't want to leave it that way. That's why I put the white behind on this. Plus, this is just a USA tang stamp. And as you know, I have a little collection going, mainly Imperial. And this is looking Imperial-ish, where I've done this to all the handles. They were all damaged in some way, and I've replaced them. And I've got a little rainbow kit going on there, a whole set of these guys with this kind of handle now, G10, and the white inner liner, all different colors. It's actually pretty cool. I kind of like it. It's a little personal thing that I do. But they fun projects, and these blades, you can really get a nice long edge on it. Makes for a really nice slicer. I mean, this is a fillet knife, really, more than anything else. Call it the fisherman, but it's really for filleting. Very nice. Like the way this came out. My oops that I did here didn't work as well as I wanted it to, but we filled it in. I've still got to shape the other side to match. Not a big deal. I'll do that right. So there you are. It's a little bit more evened out, so the ends look better. Looks like they match, although wrong color. I couldn't find a match. I don't have any paint to match this to mix. And I tried some filing of it, but it just turned white. So it'll do. I really like these. Very nice knives. They make for fun projects. They're reasonably easy. Taking them apart and putting them back together, really easy to pin. You know, my pinning, yeah, well. But they work. And of course, I didn't realize it at the time. Although they look the same except for the blades, this one does not have a half stop. And which I thought was very cool. On this, it has a half stop and really good action. The other thing I wanted to show you is you can see, if you take a knife apart, how much better it cleans up compared to trying to do this when it's all together. You can see how the difference is. You just have more control in what you're doing. It just finishes better. So, and you know, on a knife like this, there's a lot of these lying around, the toothpicks, clamshells. You can take them apart and practice on them. So you can practice your pinning, rehandling, cleaning, that sort of thing. Nice knives to do it with. So there you go. A toothpick and a fisherman. You all be safe out there. Especially when you're doing these. You know, I didn't sharpen them. I checked the blades before I started working on. Neither had a really good edge to the blade. It also, one was really basically rounded off. But still, tape them up, because it's really easy to slice yourself with them or poke yourself and things like that. So put some painter's tape on, just in case. You never know. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. A lot going on. Got some things to take care of, and a lot of big things happening. So kind of busy. Tough to get videos out. I love working on my projects every opportunity I can, and it's frustrating because I really like playing with these little cutters. Thanks for watching. Always, always appreciated. And we'll see you again soon. You know, I do this and it amuses her. I'm in the middle of editing a video, and she will sit in front here following the mouse and try and catch it underneath from the other side, like that. She puts her paw underneath and thinks she can catch it behind. Not the smartest brick in the pile she is, but she is the boss.